Good evening and thank you for joining us. Alachua County Commissioners are set to discuss the future of a controversial affordable housing project tomorrow. TV 20's Jordan Markov tells us why the commission is stuck between a rock and a hard place.
On the corner of Southeast 8th Avenue and Southeast 15th Street in East Gainesville sits a plot of land that is supposed to become an affordable housing complex. The Dogwood Village development would be a 3-story building with 96 units, but Alachua County Commissioners withdrew their funding for the project. Their reason, wanting the affordable housing to be west of Main Street.
We've since received a letter from Ability Housing letting us know that that's not possible.
Prizia was not for withdrawing the funding because she feels the need for affordable housing is too great to do so. The County Commission's latest decision to deny moving forward with the Dogwood Village development could cost Alachua County taxpayers $15 million, but that could change after Tuesday's meeting.
We've got to come up with a plan, whether they ask more in the community. Obviously, they haven't came up with a plan that they see fitting to put out there.
Commissioners are set to consider several options at tomorrow's meeting, including recommitting to the project, looking into developing a parcel south of the initial site, or not taking action at all. The meeting will be at 5 p.m. Reporting in Gainesville, Jordan Markov, TV 20 News.